Ooh, ooh, I'm just a floating head. And speaking of spooky scary, we're inside the hospital, which has a few haunted tales of its own. And speaking of scary stories, we're gonna take a look back at the highlights of Fort Monroe Ghost Walk 2025 while we talk with the event's creator, Aaron Whittington, my boss and mentor. Over to you, Aaron. Ooh.
What is the Fort Monroe Ghost Walk? The Fort Monroe Ghost Walk is an annual event held here at Fort Monroe and put on by the Fort Monroe Authority. It's an opportunity to share the folklore and the fun stories surrounding some of the unexplained history and mystery here at Fort Monroe. The ghost stories that we tell as part of the Fort Monroe Ghost Walk are collected from a number of different sources. Some of them came from the original book, The Ghosts of Fort Monroe by Jane Polanski, which is in our gift shop for sale. Some of them are collected from current and past residents right here at Fort Monroe. And some of them are actual true stories that are just really unbelievable, that are recorded in newspaper articles or histories here at Fort Monroe. So the Fort Monroe Ghost Walk has existed in a number of different ways over many years. The Army would occasionally do one. I don't know the history of it. The year before I started working here at Fort Monroe, it was just a fun idea for the residents to enjoy. And the year that I got here, we turned it into one of our most successful events. And so it's been going on consecutively for the last 11 years. And so it's a really great event and we enjoy putting it on and hope it continues for a long time. A couple of things that I think that people enjoy the most about the Fort Monroe Ghost Walk are the fact that we blend the history with the mystery. So I think people really appreciate that we're telling them a story in the space that the story originated in. You know, we're not telling a story about, 3 towns away or, across Virginia. What happens in these stories happens in the spaces where people are hearing them. Another thing that I think people enjoy about it is the opportunity to go into some of these buildings that aren't open to the public on a regular basis. And we get a lot of people who come and really enjoy hearing the history of the space and going into the building, but really enjoyed the ghost stories to go along with it as well. For me, what I really enjoy and appreciate about the Fort Monroe Ghost Walk is that this isn't the part of Fort Monroe that we tell year-round. Once a year, we get the opportunity to share a different side of the history. Whether it's a folklore and you take it as that, or whether you take these stories as fact and you've experienced it for yourself and you know it. It's something that's different, shares a different side of Fort Monroe, and we can bring it to you in a really creative, fun way. If you're looking for tickets for the Fort Monroe Ghost Walk in 2026, you're gonna wanna start looking for those in the middle of September. That's when we typically put them on sale. The Ghost Walk itself is typically held around the 3rd or 4th weekend of October, and it runs Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in the evenings. We hope you'll come out and join us.